What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Zaffel, back again with another video, and today I'll be having a look back at the recent Raw and SmackDown, the final Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania 33, and in my honest opinion, I feel like WWE did a pretty decent job hyping up WrestleMania for the go-home show. I thought Raw was pretty decent along with SmackDown, but firstly we'll talk about Raw since this was the first show this week, and I thought it did a pretty decent job. I mean, it wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but I thought the things that they did were good enough to hype me up for the show, and I feel like WrestleMania could be a very damn good show. First bit I'll talk about is the main event segment between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. This really wasn't anything too spectacular, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm hoping they would do something pretty cool. It was pretty much one big confrontation. Paul Heyman was pretty much hyping up Brock Lesnar and getting him ready for WrestleMania and how Goldberg's got to watch out and all that. Seriously, Paul Heyman does a fantastic job hyping up Brock Lesnar and just about anything in general. He can sell the worst piece of shit you'll ever see in your life and make it the greatest thing ever. That's how good Paul Heyman is, and all that kind of stuff happened. And then Goldberg comes out, Universal Champion. He gets a pretty good pop from the crowd, and he pretty much says, well, the people here in Philadelphia may not be able to see WrestleMania, but let's bring a bit of WrestleMania over to Philadelphia, which I kind of like that line. I still don't get why people say Goldberg was shit in the mic. He's been great since his return. And then after he says all that, he runs to the ring. Lesnar gets out, and I'm like, oh shit, they're going to have the big brawl before Mania. It's going to be awesome. You know what we see? We see a spear, and that's it. Okay, I guess that's something. Why couldn't they have a good brawl to build up the Raw before WrestleMania? I don't get why it was just a simple spear. Maybe they're still playing off the fact that Goldberg may still have Brock Lesnar's number. Maybe Brock Lesnar can't beat Goldberg. But looking at the way that this final segment was built and the way it was kind of presented, I think Brock Lesnar's beating Goldberg. There's no way they can continue this and just have Goldberg, who buried Lesnar, the man who ended the streak, and just have him buried completely. That makes no sense. It only makes sense for Brock Lesnar to beat Goldberg, finally overcome him, and become the Universal Champion. Now, what they plan on doing with Lesnar after he becomes Universal Champion, that is, if he does become Universal Champion, I'm not too sure yet. He'll probably have a match at Payback or some shit and drop the belt then. Maybe he'll drop it at SummerSlam. Who knows? We're just going to have to wait and see. But I don't want to shit on this match as hard as everyone else is saying. I feel like people are shitting on this match because they remember that disaster that was their match at WrestleMania 20. Because the reason why that match failed so badly is because both guys were leaving, one to the NFL and the other just in general, and the crowd were just not happy with that. But here's the thing, Brock Lesnar's not leaving the WWE anytime soon. He's obviously not coming back to the UFC after that drug test fail. I think he's staying with the WWE for quite a while. I'm not sure about Goldberg though. This will probably be his last match. He'll end up going into the Hall of Fame next year and that'll be it. But this will be an interesting match. I feel like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar will be the match that will make or break WrestleMania for a lot of people. But I'm hoping for the best. This was a alright segment, I guess, and hopefully their match doesn't shit the bed at WrestleMania. Next segment I'll discuss is involving The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. I actually thought this was okay. I thought the confrontation between Undertaker and Roman was a little bit cheesy in the end, but wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. What I did think was really cool was how The Undertaker, you know how they show the Then Now Forever graphic before every show? Well, Undertaker kind of invaded that and kind of showed his little graphics in between, buzzed out and all that, which was pretty cool. And throughout the night they showed him burying this grave for Roman Reigns, and he's going to get put in there. And so this whole feud has been pretty much, whose yard is it? Is it Undertaker's yard? Is it Roman Reigns' yard? Fuck's sake, call a landlord or something, find out whose yard it is. Jesus Christ. And Undertaker ends up showing up from behind after the whole arena blacks out, which is always cool to see, and pretty much says how Roman Reigns is going to rest in peace and all that stuff. So yeah, big final showdown, and he did his whole raising his arms thing, pretty much freaking out Roman Reigns. Well, Roman Reigns didn't look too scared. But this was okay. They could have done a lot better, in my opinion. I felt like it was a little cheesy. But yeah, this was an odd segment for me. Just odd in general. I guess I could also talk about the Seth Rollins and Triple H contract signing, the hold harmless agreement, where Seth Rollins is completely responsible for his injuries. So during the match between Seth Rollins and Triple H at WrestleMania, if he gets seriously hurt or really badly harmed in any way, it's not the WWE's fault. They're not going to help him or anything. It's all on Seth Rollins. And Seth's like, you know what, I'll do it, and all that kind of stuff. And Triple H kept warning him, are you sure you want to do this, and all that kind of stuff. And they had a big fight at the end of it, which was really cool. I'm hoping Rollins does beat Triple H. It has been a kind of theme over the last few WrestleManias that Triple H will win one and then lose one, win, lose, and he lost last year to Roman Reigns, so I don't want him to win this year. Give Seth the rub, man. He needs to be a strong babyface. He needs to be the next big face of the company instead of Roman Reigns and all that shit. So I'm hoping that their match is good. What am I saying? Their match is going to be fucking awesome, in my opinion. And the build-up has been really good. I've loved how they've built this up. And when Seth went to sign the contract, I think Triple H said, I built you up, I made you who you are today, and all that kind of stuff. But you started listening to them, and that's when you started falling off. And then Rollins goes, the reason I want to beat you is so I can become the man that I was before I met you, which is actually pretty cool in a babyface side of things. You know? I really, really like that from Seth Rollins. So yeah, this was a good little segment. I'm very excited for their match at WrestleMania, and I feel like they could steal the show for sure. I guess the final bit we can talk about is the opening segment. Yeah, I'm going backwards with this review of Raw, and this involves the mess that is the Raw Women's Division. This was a lot better, in my opinion. Bayley kind of kicked off the show, pretty much telling everyone that she's excited for WrestleMania and all that. And all of the women come out to talk a bunch of shit before their Fatal 4-Way match. And now Charlotte is really ramping up the idea that, you know, Sasha is just using Bayley so she can get closer to the Raw Women's title, which I have heard that apparently next week the heel turn is going to happen. Sasha is going to betray Bayley, and that's when the feud is going to start, which I am very, very excited about. If you've seen their matches on NXT, hopefully we get that same level of quality on the main roster, but knowing Raw, you can't really be too sure about that. But they ended up having just your standard tag team match, which was actually okay. I kind of dug it, since it was the first kind of match on the show. I thought it was an alright way to kick off the show. Liked how Bayley actually won, even though she's your Raw Women's Champion, and she should be winning. But Bayley and Sasha end up winning in a pretty decent opening tag match. But then Nia Jax attacked them from behind, and she attacked Charlotte, even though they were tag team partners, and she holds up the Raw Women's Championship and all that stuff. I feel like the match they're going to put out in WrestleMania will be really, really good. It's going to be a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. What I'm thinking, either Bayley or Charlotte are going to be the final two, or it will be Bayley and Sasha. I feel like Nia Jax may be the first woman to be eliminated, and then maybe Sasha gets eliminated after that, and then it'll be down to Bayley and Charlotte. I'm not too sure. I'll go into more detail about it in my predictions video, which will be released later this week. The Raw Women's Division, I feel like it needs a call-up or two, just a kick in the ass. Just get someone new on instead of having the same 4 divas. I know that that's all you really have, but maybe bring in Emma instead of waiting 16 weeks like you did last time for her. Bring in Emma as the cool chick with glasses like you did last time. I know that's what you're building up for. Debut of the night after WrestleMania. Bring Dana Brooke up a little bit, even though she's a babyface now. Maybe pair those two together. That'd be pretty cool. Bring up like a new NXT women's wrestler if you have to. Maybe, I'm just trying to think, like Liv Morgan. I'm not sure. Just first name kind of popped into my head. But yeah, I feel like hopefully the women's division on Raw can kind of get better after this. It could be good. We'll just have to see. Some other matches, Austin Aries beat Noam Dar, so Austin Aries has been great so far. Hope his match with Neville was pretty good. We also had a over the top rope challenge, which I'm not sure. I don't think anyone actually won that match. It was just a bit of a crazy spot. I think Big Show and Braun Strowman had a confrontation afterwards. Neville beat Jack Gallagher. We also found out that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson will be defending their Raw Tag Team titles against Enzo and Big Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro in a triple threat ladder match, so that's pretty friggin' cool. The Raw Tag Team, and just the Tag Team division on the main roster hasn't been that good. It needs, like I said with the Raw Women's division, needs a kick up the ass. Bring in the Revival, bring in DIY if you have to, because I feel like the Authors of Pain are going to retain the NXT tag titles. I feel like they can do a lot with that team, so keep them on NXT, but bring up some teams if you have to, or just make teams better. Book Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson better and not make them look like idiots. We had Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a match. So Sami Zayn will be earning his way into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with some interference with Chris Jericho and all that shit. So yeah, Raw was a decent show. It was a decent way to build up WrestleMania for the Raw brand, and now we'll get over to the SmackDown brand. So moving on to SmackDown. SmackDown, just like Raw, was also a pretty decent show. I mean, it wasn't anything incredible, but it did very well building up to WrestleMania in my opinion, and you know what, I'm just going to kick into it with probably one of the best segments I've seen this year, and it's definitely contention of segment of the year. Involves The Miz and Maurice showing the final bit of the Total Bellas bullshit, which is them pretty much pretending to be John Cena and Nikki Bella and making fun of the Total Bellas reality show. And it was done very, very well. These segments got me cracking up every single time. And they actually brought in Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan and had Miz as Daniel Bryan. And he's got like the shoes on his knees and he's doing the yes thing, making fun of him and how he's so small. And Nikki, or Maurice playing Nikki, pretty much says to John, who's being played by Miz, "Oh, John, will you marry me?" And he says no, and just goes ham into Nikki. And then Miz and Maurice take off their costumes and all that and reveal themselves, and then they get serious for a minute about John Cena and Nikki Bella and how they're gonna ruin them at WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff. And then Cena and Nikki Bella come out, and Cena did well to kind of boost himself up and to kind of push back from those epic burns that Miz and Maurice were giving their way. I feel like he did very, very well at that. And and so what he does, he takes off his hat, his wristbands, his shirt, the whole ordeal, and pretty much says, "Come on, Miz, let's fight right now. Let's go at it." And he leaves and he walks off. And then I think Cena talks a bit more smack to him. He runs back. He gets ready to fight, but he's like, "Nah, stuff ya," and then walks off and leaves. So yeah, that was a fantastic segment. If you can find it, go and watch it, because it's great. Miz and Maurice are just so good at being heels. It just comes so naturally to them, I feel like. And Cena and Nikki Bella, they did a pretty good job as well. I think this match is going to be really, really good. The build-up for it has been absolutely fantastic. This was one of the matches when I first heard it announced on the rumored card. I'm like, fucking seriously? Really? But hey, SmackDown proved me wrong, of course. And so, yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for this match, and I'm guessing Cena and Nikki will win, but I'll get more into why during the predictions video. Yeah. We also had Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper have a match in the main event. Bray Wyatt won, pretty solid match. And Randy Orton shows up, like, right afterwards. He's still at the Wyatt Shack, and, he's playing some mind games on Bray, doing the cool graphics that show up on screen. And he gets the cross that Bray Wyatt kind of pointed at him last week when all the people in sheep masks kind of took Randy hostage or whatever. He takes that and then stabs it into Sister Abigail's ashes, and Bray Wyatt just looks at him like, dude, like, he doesn't go crazy and start crying like last time when they burnt the house down. He just looks at him like, I'm gonna fucking kill you at WrestleMania. I love it. I'm loving this build-up. It's so creepy and different, and I really, really like it. Orton has done a good job to get inside Bray Wyatt's head. He was a member of the Wyatt family. He's done whatever it took to get inside Bray Wyatt's head, to beat him on the inside so he can win this match at WrestleMania. And I'm not sure if Orton will win it. I hope Wyatt retains, but we'll see from that. I think the match that these two are going to have will be pretty awesome in my opinion. But yeah, I'm very excited for the WWE title match. I'm not sure it'll be the main event. It'll probably go to Goldberg and Lesnar, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited actually. Then in the opening segment, we got the contract signing for AJ Styles and Shane McMahon's match at WrestleMania. Also from this, we found out that this is going to be just your standard wrestling match, which I found kind of weird. But, you know, I would have preferred if they just had a no DQ match so Shane can jump off crazy shit. But I feel like Shane will do something crazy in this match, surely. And I think he'll be fine because he's in the ring with AJ Styles. AJ is hands down the best performer in that company, so I'm not going to be too worried about the quality of this match. I mean, you've got AJ Styles, for fuck's sake. He can put on a 5-star quality match with a broomstick. I know people have said that, but yeah, he could. And Daniel Bryan was kind of administrating it all and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, he says after they'd signed the contracts, I want you two to shake hands and don't attack each other, which he gets booed for, which was weird. So Shane gives out his hand to AJ, but AJ just refuses to shake his hand and then leaves, which makes him more of a heel, which is good. And I feel like this match will be very good. Nice little segment to start off SmackDown, and yeah, good for that. The last bit I'll talk about for SmackDown is involving the women's division. There was a match between Becky Lynch and Carmella, which kind of ended in no contest. I think Natty was on commentary, and all the SmackDown women that are going to be competing for the SmackDown Women's Championship all come in. So Mickie James, Natalya, and Alexa Bliss. And then it ends up getting turned into a tag team match with Alexa Bliss and Carmella teaming up against Becky Lynch and Mickie James. Alexa and Carmella end up getting the win, and more fights happen afterwards. That is until Naomi comes out and pretty much makes a save for the babyface women and all that. So yeah, it is official. We will be having a 6-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which I think is on the pre-show. I think it's on the pre-show. I'm sure it'll be a fine match. I'm so happy to see that Naomi finally got put in this position after having to lose it to Daniel Bryan having to relinquish it. But then again, if she was going to return around WrestleMania time, why did you give away her championship? That didn't really make a lot of sense to me, you know. You have guys like Goldberg that don't fucking defend it for weeks on end, but, you know, Naomi gets a little injured, and now she's back in time for WrestleMania, and you took her off, and you took the title off it. It kind of a bit meaningless in my opinion. But oh well, silly little mistake by SmackDown. Just stupid little decision there. I feel like this match is going to be very good. And I hope actually Naomi wins back the SmackDown Women's title in her hometown of Florida. Should be a really cool moment for her. And yeah, that was kind of it for SmackDown this week. I guess the other little thing that happened was a 10-man tag team match involving some participants in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was Mojo Rawley, Heath Slater, Rhino, and American Alpha. They beat Dolph Ziggler, Breezango, and the Usos. So I'm guessing the SmackDown tag team division is going to be plumped into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I guess at least they've got a spot on the card, but it's a little bit disappointing for the tag team division. It kind of says it right there. Poor American Alpha. Well, Usos are the champs now. I forgot they beat them last week for the titles. But yeah, at least I've got a spot for them, I guess. And yeah, this is going to be it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, a comment down below what you thought of Raw and SmackDown this week. Are you excited for WrestleMania? Because I am. I think the build-up has been very, very good this year, actually. And if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Trust me, I'll be having more videos for WrestleMania week coming up soon. Twitter and Instagram is on JackamanLove31 if you want to follow me there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to have fun, guys, because this is the biggest week for us wrestling fans. So have a lot of fun, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.